Hi, everybody. Welcome to Devotions, and it's Monday, and the Lord goes with you into the new week, so it should be a good one. I'd like to think today about cities. You know, human beings live in cities for the most part. Even those who live out in the countryside need to come into the city for the things that they need. And cities are places where there is a community of people. It's a place which you can call your home. Where do you live? I live in Durban or wherever. A city is a place with a government, where it has a way of being ruled and organized, sometimes very well, sometimes not so well. It's also a place of culture and a way of life. Every city has its own particular culture. And citizenship comes from that word. We belong to cities, we belong to countries. We are citizens. Paul has a saying in Philippians chapter 3, verse 20 says, our citizenship is in heaven. Yeah, we've got South African passports and maybe others, but our citizenship is in heaven. In other words, as Christians, we are citizens of the eternal realm of heaven. Yes, we live on earth. Yes, we're here. We're part of earthly cities, but our citizenship is heavenly, and that will never be taken away from us. It is an eternal citizenship. Isn't it a wonderful thing? And so I remember when we moved from Cape Town to come up to Durban to work, um, and we left what was for us home and came to a place we'd never been before, and we felt like strangers. You know, when Abraham left his city of Haran and he was called by God to go, he knew not where. He arrived in the land and he said he was like a stranger in that land. And even though he had no fixed abode, this is what the letter to the Hebrews says about him in 11 verse 10, chapter 11, verse 10. For he was looking forward to the city with foundations, whose architect and builder is God, the heavenly city. And we see that, yes, he was here on earth, but his actual place of belonging was in heaven. There's a beautiful verse, and Hebrews talks a lot about the city to come. In 11 verse 16, he says, therefore God is not ashamed to be called their God, for he has prepared a city for them. God has an eternal city, which we are already citizens of, but yet not completely. The time is still to come when that will happen. And Hebrews also in chapter 12 has another way of putting it. He says, as Christians, he says, we have not come to any scary place, but we have come to Mount Zion, to the heavenly Jerusalem, the city of the living God. We are within the community of God's people already and in fellowship with God himself. Because, says Hebrews in the next chapter, chapter 13, verse 14, for here we do not have an enduring city. These cities will eventually all crumble away. It says, but we are looking for the city that is to come. Isn't it a wonderful truth that while we are about our business on this earth, in a way we are strangers, because to us it's an alien culture. So much of it doesn't conform to the way of Christ, but God has prepared something else. And eventually we have this glorious promise at the end of the book of Revelation in chapter 21, where God describes this new city, which he calls, of course, the heavenly Jerusalem. And then I saw a new heaven and a new earth, and the first heaven and the first earth had passed away, and there was now no longer any sea. And I saw the holy city, the new Jerusalem, coming down from heaven from God, prepared as a bride and beautifully dressed for her husband. We are the bride. Jesus is the husband. And I heard a loud voice from the throne saying, now the dwelling of God is with men, and he will live with them. They will be his people, and God himself will be with them and be their God. He will wipe every tear from their eyes. There will be no more death or mourning or crying or pain, for the old order of things has passed away. And he who was seated on the throne said, I am making everything new. What a glorious hope we have as Christians. So when things are going badly, when life is tough, as it often is, remember that there is a great hope. We are actually citizens of that heavenly city already, but we look forward to the fulfillment because God has built that city. What a wonderful picture. And I pray that it gives you joy as you go out into today and into the days that lie ahead. God go with you. Bye for now.